Welcome to High Intensity Business. My name is Lawrence, and today we have a throwback podcast episode with the one and only Sherri McMillan. This is a very timely podcast, and the reason I'm republishing this is because Sherri is a real expert in all things running a very successful fitness business, but in particular, she's got a lot of strength in marketing. And I know a lot of you will be planning your marketing calendars, your strategies for next year, thinking about what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And we talk about all of that in this particular episode. Very quickly on Sherri and why you should listen to her. She's a very impressive fitness entrepreneur. She built a $2 million boutique fitness business across 2 locations. She ended up selling one of those locations. She is or has been a huge mentor for Luke Carlson. And many of you will know that name. Luke is the CEO and founder of Discover Strength. Discover Strength, I think at this stage, probably have close to somewhere between 20 and 30 personal strength training locations across the US, and are continuing to grow really fast. And many years ago, Luke invested a lot of money in one of Sherri's workshops. She'd had a lot of success, obviously, in her fitness business and had branched out to help other fitness business owners. And that's where Luke learned a lot about the systems required to really scale and build a fantastic business. And he, is very much influenced by Sherri and her systems, and he read through her entire binder of stuff, and then very much adapted a lot of that and used that to help build Discover Strength. And so that's been hugely influential. And obviously, anyone who Luke admires and learns from is someone I want to speak to. And so hence why we had Sherri on the podcast, and hence why I'm publishing this again, because what she says is just so valuable. So in this particular podcast, we talk about marketing fundamentals, getting back to basics, the really important stuff around, who is your target market, what makes you different. And then we get into, the marketing calendar, how to calculate marketing budgets, and specifically what marketing tactics you should be thinking about next year. A lot of this stuff is quite timeless. And even though we recorded this quite a few years ago, it's still very applicable today. And before you get on with listening to the main podcast, we are doing a free webinar for you guys at the end of this month. So December 30th, 2024, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, myself and lead acquisition expert Dave Bess are going to do a free webinar. It's probably going to be 1 hour to 90 minutes, so 60 to 90 minutes, where we are going to give you the 2025 lead generation system, right? So this is something that you can plug into your marketing strategy that's really going to help you generate consistent leads every single month and not cause you a lot of overwhelm. And this system is going to be really efficient. So it's not something that's going to consume lots of your time. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to watch that free webinar with no tricks, please join our free High Intensity Business School community, where you're also going to get access to lots of other resources to help you start and grow your hit business as well as access to me. And so to join that, please go to school.com/HIB. That's SK, I don't know why I'm doing this, SKOOL. So the cool way of spelling school.com/HIB. That stands for High Intensity Business. School.com/HIB. Join now and you get access to that free webinar, which you can register for December 30th, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Super excited to see you there. And without any further ado, please enjoy this awesome throwback podcast with the one and only Sherri McMillan. My guest today is Sherri McMillan. Sherri is a fitness columnist, author, and owner of Northwest Personal Training in Vancouver, Washington, awarded both the Better Business Bureau's Business of the Year and Chamber of Commerce Community Builder Award. She has been in the fitness industry for more than 30 years, presenting hundreds of workshops while working with thousands of fitness leaders throughout the world. Over her career, she's received numerous awards: the 2010 International CanFit Pro Fitness Presenter of the Year, 2006 IDEA Program Director of the Year, inaugural IDEA Personal Trainer of the Year, and 1998 Canadian CanFit Pro Presenter of the Year. And just one more thing to say, some of you will know this if you've heard me talk to Sherri in the past. I was very impressed and interested in talking to Sherri when I learned that she had built 2 boutique personal training studios generating approximately $2 million in revenue and working a very well-balanced 40-hour work week. She's a huge inspiration to my mentor and many of our mentor, Luke Carlson, who's CEO and founder of Discover Strength. He was very inspired by Sherri when it comes to systems and has invested in her education, and that's been a huge game changer for Luke. And also, if you're interested in more marketing stuff, in addition to what we're talking about today, we actually did record an episode, I think it was back end of 2020, which is again talking about, preparing for year end and start of the new year. And that's episode 296 with Sherri McMillan. So Sherri, thank you so much for joining me again on the podcast. Great to see you again.
Thank you for having me, Lawrence. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Not pink hair today, but still very kind of loud. And I love the hairstyle too. What was that? I don't know if you remember you
envy, but I can see why you envy my hair.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, that's the only reason. So yeah, I mean, I obviously want to talk about the marketing calendar. You're sharing your screen with us right now, with the sort of marketing strategy right there. Do you think it's? I think because we're quite short on time today. I know we're making this really bite-sized, and we've got obviously 20 minutes. So I think we should really just get straight into the plan and the tactics. But I just want to say I think it's really important for obviously my listeners, and I want to kind of repeat the marketing fundamentals. Who is your target market, and who is your business built for? Who is the person you want to attract? When you look at your clients, who in your client base is the person who talks about you the most positively, who shares all your stuff on social media, who spends the most money, who is the easiest to retain? That person is probably your ideal target market. So that should be the first thing you obviously identify, because you need to figure out where are those people spending their time and what messaging is going to resonate with them. Secondly, you need to know what makes your business different. What are your USPs? Not what makes you better, because that's hard to quantify, but what makes you materially different. That might be efficient 30-minute workouts. That might be evidence-based approach to exercise, whatever. But those things are critical before you get to this. So I just want to say that because it's always really important. Hopefully you agree with me on that, Sherri. And
absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure you reminded me of that when we last spoke, actually. So let's dive in. Where do we start with this marketing plan?
Yeah. So this, we're knee deep into this right now. My personal training director and myself, we have been working over the last, couple months to finalize, what's our plan for 2023, taking a look at what we've done. I mean, we've been doing this now. We're in this location. We're celebrating our 23rd anniversary.
Wow.
So we've been doing this for a long time. And in the fall, we always sit down and go, okay, what worked last year? What didn't work? What do we want to keep doing? What do we want to stop doing? What do we want to, continue doing? And, we got to look at the history to see, okay, what was successful? And so we sit down together and we just finalize what our plan is going to be for 2023. And most people, unfortunately, they don't do this. And so they kind of fly by the seat of their pants and they're like, okay, what should we do next month? Well, if you're asking yourself today what we should do in January, you're too late. That's like, you should already have everything in place and, ready to pull the trigger and be ready to go. And so once you set up a plan like this, then it makes it so easy, so much easier for you, your managers to just execute. And, I'll take this calendar and I will place it into my time management calendar. My managers will do the same. And then we always work backwards. We know, okay, if it's going to take us 2 months to promote something so that it's successful and it's supposed to launch, March 15th, we better make sure we've got everything ready to go January 15th for that March 15th program or promotion or whatever it's going to be. And so this helps to keep us organized. And it's just a really important system to have in place to allow your company to thrive, your revenues to grow, your clientele base to increase. And we have this set up, for throughout the entire year, month by month, and it's relevant to our business and relevant to our community and what's going on and what we need to sort of capitalize on and leverage to make sure that we're doing the most bang for our buck and most bang for our efforts.
Love it. Okay. So do you want to walk us through this document in front of, I can see right here? Yeah. God, there's a lot for January. Wow.
Yeah. Every month there's a lot, actually. But, January is a very important time for our industry, right? And in fact, you can see in that first sort of section where it says promotion, what types of messaging we might have in our community, such as, especially, after the pandemic, like exercise is medicine and health is wealth. Health is your best investment. Transform your body, change your life. this is what aging looks like. These are some of the messages that we sort of lead with in any of our campaigns, any of our initiatives. And then you can see the next point is that 40% of my budget is spent at this time period. So, and that should be the case for, most of us, especially in that sort of northern hemisphere where you've got the seasons. We just know that January is the greatest opportunity in our industry with, New Year's resolutions and people just come off the holidays and they come off of indulging and they're ready to focus on their health and fitness. And we want to be first of mind. So this is where we're spending the majority of, our budget throughout the year is just in January. That's a big chunk of our budget.
Mm-hmm. And so this is a really stupid question, but you said they're Northern Hemisphere. So is it really dark and cold in Vancouver, Washington in January, like it is here?
Yeah, we have the four seasons, and it is cold and rainy and dark. And, we just, when you have four seasons like that, you take advantage of, for us, our most important month is January. Our next most important month is September. That's because, kids are going back to school in our area and we're coming off of summer and, it's sort of that fall back into fitness and people are ready to turn over a new leaf, so to speak. And that's the second best opportunity for us to make sure we're front of mind. So when people are thinking about health and fitness and training, they're thinking about Northwest Personal Training. They're thinking about us. And so we'll spend another big chunk of our marketing budget in September. So it's really important because, wherever you are in the world and in your community, you need to know what are your prime seasons? What are your prime months? Like for us, it's hard to really sell training in July and August because it's summer, it's gorgeous here, it's not raining. So people don't often want to be indoors. So they're not thinking about, I need to purchase personal training right now. I need to start with a trainer. They'll think about that in September, but you don't want to spend a huge chunk of your money during a time when people just aren't thinking about it. And we use the analogy in the fitness industry of like a fruit tree. And you use the analogy of you want to go to that tree and you want to shake it when the tree's full of apples. And you put a little bit of effort in and the apples are coming down. You can harvest a lot of apples. But if you go to that tree and you shake it when there's hardly any apples in the tree, you might shake so hard and you might get one or two apples. So it's that kind of analogy. You want to spend your time, your energy, your money, your efforts during the seasons, the time in your community, your area, when there's a lot of people that are thinking about health and fitness, and you'll get the most bang for your buck during that time, if that makes sense.
Today's episode is sponsored by Imagine Strength, the game changer in safe, simple, and effective high-intensity training machines. When it comes to HIIT, Imagine Strength is your go-to for intelligently designed, efficient, and affordable equipment. Their team is passionate about HIIT, and it shows in every piece they craft. So why are Imagine Strength the right choice? Number one, they tailor-make their equipment for HIIT studios. Number two, they provide cost-effective solutions for your business. And number three, they are committed to ongoing innovation and refinement. Ready to take your HIIT business to the next level? Visit imaginestrength.com to discuss your needs and find the perfect gear for your studio. Join the HIIT revolution of Imagine Strength and transform your workout experience today. And how do you figure out the budget? Is it do you come up with a number that you're prepared to invest for the entire year and then divvy it up across the months? Or please expand on that.
Yeah, that's a great question. In sort of best practices, typically you want to spend about 2 to 5% of your total revenues on marketing and advertising. So you can just kind of go backwards and say either, what's my current revenue or what's my goal revenue? And I want to spend 2 to 5% on that, on marketing and advertising. And if you're really good at sort of grassroots initiatives, then you can spend less. If you have a really great reputation, if you get a lot of free marketing advertising, you can spend less because you just got some good solid initiatives set up that don't cost as much. but typically somewhere in that 2 to 5% is what you should be that should be your goal in terms of what you would spend to get, to reach those types of revenue goals.
Understood. So shall we go through January? So just before we do that, actually, I'm assuming this is basically one side of A4, one page, and you have a page for each month, basically. Is that how it looks?
Exactly. You have to scroll down. It's like, and then here comes February. So it's basically,
that is so cool.
If I was to print this out, it would be a legal size sheet. And keep in mind, we've been doing this for 23 years. It used to be an 8.5 by 11. It just keeps getting bigger.
Right.
And as you add more initiatives and you do more things and you have the team to be able to support that. So if someone's just getting started with their business, understand that we've been doing this for 23 years. So you might go through this list and go, oh my God, that's way too much. I'm overwhelmed. That there's no way I could achieve any of those things. Just pick a couple things, like a couple initiatives that you feel really passionate about and focus on those things. And then you build from there. This isn't what we started with 23 years ago. So that's important.
Thank you so much for saying that, because I was thinking that, and I really appreciate you saying that. And I think the best way to go from here would be to really find almost the 80-20. Like, what do you think, which bullets here do you think are the most impactful? I'm wondering if it's the ones highlighted in green. And maybe the bullets that you think are the most impactful, we can just focus on those for the rest of the time on this podcast. Because then, then the listeners can execute on those specific ones. So what are the ones that really stand out for you as having the highest return in your opinion, Sherri? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny that you say that. Green is not necessarily the ones that are the most impactful. They're the ones that we struggle with achieving.
The opposite.
Okay. They're harder. And it's like, okay, these are things that are good, but they take a little bit more effort. So we kind of highlight them to remind ourselves that these are good initiatives that we want to take advantage of. So when you go through the list, external marketing is anything that we do outside of the studio, right? Outside of the four walls. So that would include any advertising. So we hone in because our community is business professionals. So we hone in if we're doing any kind of advertising or media initiatives, we hone in on our business journal, our local business journal, our local chamber of commerce, our local newspaper focused on the business section. There's also a local, Be Local, which is goes out to all new residents in our community. So we want them to know who we are if they just move to our community. So that's where we focus our advertising. Then we do corporate outreach, means that those are initiatives we do with businesses in our community where we will reach out to HR directors or owners and propose, something that we do with their team, their employees. So here we're proposing to do a makeovers or January makeover challenge or do a health talk for them. We'll do door prizes at local events. We do every week, we do a press release to local media. So we will be focusing on New Year's resolutions, and January tends to be a time where the media, TV, they're always talking about health and business. So it's a great opportunity to put yourself in front of news reporters and producers and say, hey, I'll come in and do a segment on, adhering your New Year's resolutions or achieving your New Year's resolutions. So we do that. I propose those weekly, and I have a different topic that I try to suggest for the media so that they pick it up and say, yeah, we'll have you come in and do that. Speaking engagements in our community. Again, January is a great time to promote that or suggest that. And then we have partners in our community, like we have a nonprofit partner. We'll promote them. They'll promote us. And then we also do a local business partner that will they'll highlight us to their customers and vice versa. And we try to
like a joint venture. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's our external marketing.
Just to pause you for a second, Sherri. No, that was great. What on this list historically has produced the highest return for you, would you say, on that external marketing side? Is there any one thing that's particularly powerful?
Yeah, I think whenever we can get in front of business professionals, so whenever we can get out to do a presentation or some type of active talk or something with a business, and that we tend to get a number of leads that way because we'll go there for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we'll get a number of contacts and we'll bring them in for a complimentary session. So, and once we get them in for an initial session, we have an 80% closing ratio of clients who will then invest in our services. So anything that we can get in front of business professionals is really helpful for us because that's our demographic.
Let's just focus here for a second then. So how do you do that? How I mean, this is really interesting to me because I've literally just been working with one of my clients who is a staff member of a large American medical tech company based in Galway. And he's amazing and he's a huge advocate for us. So I've been talking to him and I literally sent him a slide today to share with his HR team to basically say, hey, look, this is what these guys do. They want to come in to talk about how they can, improve the health and wellness and productivity of our team. And so he's helping me do that. And then I'm looking to then speak to, a group of people, or as many people within the organization as I can, because they're right around the corner from us. So it just makes a lot of sense too. And so that's how I've gone about it. I've gone about it through my client. I've developed that relationship. But I'm just curious, how do you go about it? What's your process for those speaking engagements? Yeah.
That's exactly the way to do it. Take a look at your current clients and who are your clients and what businesses do they own or manage. And whenever they know you and like you, it's so much easier to get a foot in the door, to be able to talk to the decision makers. If you're just cold calling, going to businesses in the community, that's much more challenging. So if someone already knows you and you have a relationship, that is the way to suggest that either, hey, let's come in and do a talk on health or fitness in January, or why don't we host a fitness challenge amongst your sales and your customer service team, and they can compete against each other and get points on, who adheres to the healthy initiative that we, address or what we focus on. So that's exactly the way to do it. If you have a relationship, it's so much easier to just get in, and then it can become something that you do, a couple times a year, and it can develop into something that you do on a weekly basis where, we'll go in and we do workouts at businesses in our community because we started with a health talk. And then they're like, hey, why don't we bring you in once or twice a week and you do a workout, for our staff and they can participate for free as part of our sort of corporate health and wellness program. So there's opportunities to do things on an annual basis, a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, a weekly basis, depending on the company and their, their budget and what, but most companies have some type of, focus on workplace wellness. And so you've just got to figure out how you can help them achieve whatever goals that they have for that program.
Okay. Joe, there's one other point here too, which I'm sure you probably agree with, is even if your individual client is not an employee, there's probably 1 or 2 degrees of separation between them and someone who is, so I had another client who happened to work for this same company, and he connected me with the HR team because he used to work there. So that's just as good, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
And it was just a lack of initiative on my part to actually follow up, but that was a golden opportunity. So just to summarize then, okay, so leveraging your existing relationships to try and infiltrate organizations to do speaking. And obviously now's a good time getting in shape for New Year's. And here's the thing, right? It's like, a lot of companies are desperate for this kind of thing. They want you to connect with them. They want you to come and provide a free, value on how to get into shape for their team, because it's just, there's only upside really. So I think this is a great one. Is there any other ways in which you would do it? I guess, would you just directly email or try and contact the HR team in a corporation and do that, I guess, across maybe 5 or 10, play the numbers a little bit until you get an opportunity, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what people do who cold call, is they just try to figure out who's the decision maker. And for something like this, it's typically the HR director. If it's a smaller company, the owner of the company may be the HR director. So, you just want to, at the end of the day, explain to them how your support can help them either reduce their costs, like healthcare costs, or, sick time away from work, just by focusing on health and fitness and how it can be a huge return on, their investment by, just making their workforce much more healthy. So at the end of the day, they want to know like what's in it for them. How are they going to benefit financially, and whether it's from a business, revenues or reduced expenses, or just team camaraderie and just getting people together, focusing on doing something that's good for themselves, and the owner can help establish that they're the ones who are like caring about their employees and want them to be healthy and fit. So there's a little bit of goodwill there as well.
I love that. Unfortunately, Sherri, that's all we have time for today. And I should have said, for everyone who's listening on the podcast, go to the blog post and go to YouTube, and you'll find the video which gives you the screen share that Sherri is providing right now, where she's actually presenting the activities for January, the marketing activities. Sherri, would you be? Yeah, thank you. I was just going to ask you if you could scroll down a little bit.
There's
great.
Just internal marketing, social media,
amazing
workshops we do, specialty programs, events we host, team accountability, fitness, birthdays, anniversaries, like everything that is going on that month is listed on this flyer. There isn't just, and we just got to execute.
Yeah, thank you so much for being open about this. Not many companies would, right? Because they're revealing their secrets, but you have an abundance mindset, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing it with us. It's really helpful. Sherri, I hope we can, I really, as always, enjoy talking to you, and I hope we can do this again soon. Best way for people to find out more about you and your services?
Yeah, they can go to our studio website, NW stands for Northwest, nwpersonaltraining.com, and they can see how we operate and run our business. And then on the fitness education side of things, it's nwfitnesseducation.com, and that's where they could find any of the resources that we provide for other business owners to help them with systems and tools to help them thrive in their business and their career.
Great, and I highly recommend listeners go check that out. Thanks again, Sherri. Always grateful for you. And for everyone listening, to find the blog post for this episode, please go to highintensitybusiness.com. And until next time, thank you very much for listening. This episode is brought to you by Imagine Strength, your go-to for safe, simple, and effective high-intensity training equipment. Growing a successful high-intensity training business requires workout equipment that's not only high quality, but also intelligently designed to fit the unique needs of your studio. And that's where Imagine Strength comes in. Drawing on the wisdom of the legendary Arthur Jones, Imagine Strength has crafted a groundbreaking line of fitness equipment that's as affordable as it is efficient, giving your studio the upgrade it needs without breaking the bank. The team at Imagine Strength breathes HIIT. Their passion for high-intensity training shines through in their designs, which they've consistently refined and innovated for optimum effectiveness and user experience. From my personal experience at Rec, I can attest to the careful consideration and craftsmanship that goes into every single piece. My Imagine Strength workout was absolutely brutal, in a good way, of course. Now, what makes Imagine Strength truly stand out? They have innovative equipment tailored for the unique needs of HIIT studios, affordable and efficient designs, lowering the barriers to entry for a HIIT business, continuous innovation and refinement ensuring your studio stays ahead of the curve. Founder Jeff Turner and his team are dedicated to moving the HIIT industry forward and making strength training accessible to more people than ever before. Here's how you get started. Number 1, visit imaginestrength.com. Number 2, discuss your specific needs with the team. And number 3, select the equipment that will propel your business to the next level. Head to imaginestrength.com today and give your HIIT business the Imagine Strength edge. Be part of the HIIT revolution and see firsthand how their unique equipment can transform your studio's workout experience. Elevate your HIIT business with Imagine Strength.